Yes, people. Darren G, Liverpool 5 Alive, Calnack, UK. Today is the 11th of the 2nd, 2023. Yesterday was the 10th, and a show of strength was needed outside Knowsley Sweets in Liverpool. Instantly, you had people trying to say that the protest was far right, that it was a racist demonstration, when it wasn't. The protest last night was nothing to do with religion, was nothing to do with race. It was all about protecting the children. So when you've got media outlets and local MPs trying to indicate that it was established through a far-right mindset, they're all deadly wrong. The men and women that attended that protest last night was there to protect the women and children of our city of Liverpool. We are sick to death of local Labour MPs thinking that they can be in power when they feel like it. The only reason Liverpool tolerate Labour MPs is because we can't stand Conservative MPs, and Labour MPs are the only alternative unless we go independent. Last night was meant to be a peaceful protest, but the pro-government Antifa movement came to provoke and insinuate that that protest was a race protest. And when I've just said it wasn't. It got out of hand. Police vans were burnt and police officers were injured. And that's what they get for protecting foreign men who are ready to go to war, harming, stalking and paving off our women and children right around the city. While we have Scouse-born individuals sleeping on the streets and can't be fed, the government and the politicians are giving first-class hotels to foreign males. We're not dealing with families from Ukraine. We're not dealing with young children and parents from Ukraine, war-torn countries. We're dealing with red-blooded males in the thousands that are saturating our city. Every one of these men is dangerous to the children and the women upon our streets, which is evident. It's okay for the local publications to not be publicising the amount of attacks and scary moments that our children are being put through. I'm not the only man of Liverpool that feels like this, and I'm not the only man around the country where this has been happening for the last year or two. It's important that we don't rise to the stigma that we are a far-right protest group, because we're not. I'll reiterate, it's absolutely nothing to do with race. It's absolutely nothing to do with religion. It's all about protecting the children and the women of Liverpool City. Local MPs need to think about what is going on and need to think how fast this will escalate if things don't start getting put in place to protect our children. They need to appreciate how powerful the public are from the city of Liverpool. They need to understand that if this just escalates, there will not be just one police van or one policeman being harmed or damaged. There will be numerous individuals harmed and damaged. There will be numerous government buildings and government outlets that will be harmed and damaged. This is not inciting. This is me foreseeing what's coming. This is not me implementing any sort of behaviour pattern to make it go down that road. The protest last night was meant to be peaceful. The governments within the country, within the city, allowed Antifa, the pro-government movement, to conduct a protest opposing a peaceful protest. As always, Antifa come with provocative ways. They're there for a reason. They're funded by the powers that be globally. The powers that be globally are trying to implement something that the majority of the city of Liverpool are blind to. These are not immigrants who have got families, who have got children to protect. These are men, war-ready men, 21 up, who are patrolling the streets, deliberately provoking the public to react the way they did last night. If it continues, more of this will happen. If it continues, more people will attend to watch this destruction unfold. More people from our city, from our place of birth, will jump on board with what's going on. This is our city. This is where we belong. Our city has always been opened armed to immigration. The majority of us and them that was attending that protest last night come from immigrant blood. What we will not tolerate, as I keep on stating, is perverted men stalking our women and children, attacking our women and children, and putting our city into an insecure mindset where the women and children are scared to walk the streets, are scared to stand at a bus stop, are scared to take the normal routes home from school because you've got groups of men sitting and loitering with the phones in hand, taking pictures. Taking pictures of minors. There's thousands of them. We've got homeless Liverpool-born women and men and children living on the streets of the city, while you fund these individuals in first-class hotel rooms with the best food, with the best medical services you can get, while the homegrown individuals don't receive none of it unless they get into a queue and wait. The priorities are wrong and you need to correct them. This is not inciting. This is Darren G having his shout on the progress of the situation that's arising within the city of Liverpool. You Scousers that turned up last night, stand your ground. Don't bow down to the racist movements that are trying to indicate that we are far-right protesters when we're not. Every man and every woman that attended that protest last night attended that protest because we are sick to death of our women and children being stalked and harmed by men in the hundreds, patrolling the streets of the city of Liverpool, harming and walking and stalking down young children after school periods. As always, let's keep the protests non-violent. If the police want to antagonise and provoke a peaceful protest to become violent, that's entirely up to them. To the people around the country and around the city that thinks this is a hateful campaign, it's not. We embrace any immigrant, any woman and child, and we have been told by the powers that be that the amount of immigrants flooding this country are from war-torn places, and the majority of which is women and children. You've got full hotels filled with men that are ready for war. For you men around the city of Liverpool and the country, it's about uniting. It's about uniting in the fight for what's right. And that's protecting the values and the morals of the cities we come from. Peace out, L5 shout, Darren G from the city of Liverpool.